Story number 1. I, 28M, had to travel overseas for a couple weeks for work-related reasons. My sister's, 19F, college is nearby, and she offered to feed my cats and water my plants while I was gone. I said sure thanks, and told her she was welcome to stay there while I was gone, since she lives in a dorm. Anyway, the day I got home, my sister was there with her boyfriend. That was fine, he's always seemed like a cool guy, but one thing I noticed was that my sheets were still in my washer. I didn't think much of it, I just assumed my sister waited to wash them, since she was using my bed while she was there. But she tells me, sorry, my boyfriend and I were using the bed last night. That grossed me out. I don't think I'm being unreasonable to not want people screwing in my bed. My sister told me to relax, and said I was being a prude American. Her boyfriend is from Ireland. She said that we, meaning Americans, stigmatize sex, and that she washed the sheets so it's fine. I said no it's not and told her to get out. She isn't welcome there anymore. Our mother has been reaming me via text, saying I'm overreacting. Comment number 1. NTA. I can't really understand these people that are saying YDA. I don't want other people screwing in my bed. I don't want somebody jizz bombing my sister on my bed. That's just nasty. For all of those who are talking about hotel beds, that's nothing but a straw man argument. Hotel beds are not my own personal bed. I'm really not sure how that is so hard to understand. I wonder if your mom would be okay with your sister and her boyfriend coming over to her house today and getting busy for a couple of hours on her bed. Let's see how she likes that. Comment number 2. It's reasonable for you to feel uncomfortable with your sister and her boyfriend using your bed without your consent. Your sister's reaction is dismissive and not acceptable. It's okay for you to not want her to stay at your place again. It's important to prioritize your own feelings and boundaries, even if others may not agree with them. NTA. Comment number 3. Listen, I don't like the idea of other people having sex in my bed. But my preference is to just not know. If there is no evidence, as in sheets are clean upon my return, it literally is not hurting me at all. I've definitely had friends house sit and I know their partners stayed over. Did they have sex in my bed? No idea, and frankly I don't want to know. All I know is they were helping me out and kept my place clean. I don't really think your sister is an asshole, but she's an idiot for telling you. Especially because she was doing you a favor by house sitting, I'd advise you to let it go. I'm foregoing a judgment, but if I had to judge I'd be split between NAH and ESH. Comment number 4. NTA. I think a lot of people are missing a key detail here. He said his sister could stay there, he didn't invite them, as a couple, to both stay, and while he was okay with the BF being there, that wasn't part of the deal. Also, as an Irish person, it's hilarious that she's trying to use our culture as an excuse for banging in his bed. We at least have a bit of subtlety when we do that because we know it's not, a particularly nice thing to do. Story number 2. Me and my stepcousin, I'll name her Leah for this post, are in the same field. We work at a company which is co-owned by my boyfriend's dad. To put it simply, Leah's jealous. She thinks I don't deserve to be there and get everything handed to me. I'm a hard worker and got a promotion recently, which set her off even more. Both of us had actually been applying to some other jobs as well. She got one of them so she's going to move out of state soon. I also got an offer but decided to stay here because of the promotion. We had a family potluck over the weekend, and of course a lot of them had heard of my promotion and were congratulating me. Leah was there and she seemed fine throughout the night, but at one point my aunt, her stepmom, said something about how proud everyone is of me for being so successful in a traditionally man's field. I just said thanks and told her I'd gotten an offer from another place too, but decided to stay and I'm happy I have options on what I want to do. Leah overheard this and came at me, saying it's not about my options but my Nepo privilege and how she got a new job too but everyone's kissing up to my ass. I had enough at that point and told her to stop acting like a jealous bitch, and focus on herself instead of looking at what others have that she doesn't. She got upset and pretty much stormed off. I did text her later but she didn't reply. I told my friend this, she knows Leah too, and she said I should apologize to Leah and what I said was way wrong. I don't really think so, but AITA? My friend suggested to post here. Comment number 1. YTA. I don't know if Nepo privilege is the right word, but surely the fact that you work at a company co-owned by your boyfriend's father does mean something. I'm not saying you aren't a hard-working employee, but you're definitely very safe at this job for a reason. Anyways, this isn't why you are TA. YTA because there was no reason for you to call her a bitch. She had a point that everyone was paying a lot of attention to your promotion, when she herself was also doing pretty well in her career. I find nothing wrong in how she feels about that. There was no reason for you to lash out at her unhappiness because of the biased treatment she was receiving from everyone. Comment number 2. It is obvious that Leah is jealous, but it is impossible to comment if she has grounds to be so. Either way, what she did was in poor taste. Best to move on. Edited, OP has provided more info. She started working here a couple of years before me. I also applied for that position but didn't get it, which is fine. The one I got is also very good, it's a sister company of where I'm currently working. OP, unless you are incredibly brilliant or she is amazingly bad, overlooking a long-standing worker for a promotion is indeed nepotism. You cannot spin this to look good. Best to accept it. Note that you did not get the offer she got. Your offer was from a sister company, which opens up another can of worms about favoritism. Comment number 3. YTA. She was acting jealous, but I think she has a reason to feel jealous and bitter, frankly. She has a new job and is moving out of state, yet at dinner everyone was focusing on you. That sucks. You absolutely do have an advantage in the company you currently work for, and, whilst I'm sure you do work hard, for her that sucks too. I don't think she's a bitch for vocalizing this. Comment number 4. ESH, but mostly you. Yes, Leah shouldn't have come at you, and she was jealous that everyone was congratulating you on your promotion, and ignoring her new job. But I too suspect that nepotism had some role in your getting hired at the company in the first place, and your promotion. Your boyfriend's father owns the company. You called her a bitch, which was pretty rude. You told her to focus on herself instead of looking at what others have that she doesn't. Since what you have and she doesn't is, apparently, a boyfriend whose daddy owns a business, it's not something you should really be bragging about. Story number 3. My wife was away on a girls' trip for 5 days. I took care of our young children, 7 and 2.5. I was happy for her to go and have fun and happy to be with the kids. We both travel and it's fine. That said, it's tiring, of course, especially over a weekend, and I wake up early. My wife landed at 7 p.m. on a Sunday night. With delays and customs, I had no idea when she was going to get home, and neither did she. I was exhausted and fell asleep at 8. She was upset that I didn't wait up and told me she was hurt and I should have waited. AITA for not waiting up? Additional info, I was not supposed to pick her up. She wanted me to be up to be with her. Which is a lovely sentiment. Comment number 1. NAH. You were exhausted and fell asleep. Reasonable. She thought you'd be excited enough to see her that you'd have waited up. Reasonable. Remind each other that it was a big week for you both and that you love each other, and organize a date night. Comment number 2. NTA. It sounds harsh, but it's not your fault that she built up expectations in her head and then is disappointed that they aren't fulfilled. You didn't agree to wait for her, she didn't communicate that she wants that. Also, she could have just waken you up when she got home to spend time with you. Comment number 3. NTA. I go on several business trips throughout the year and I usually get home around 1 a.m. I don't expect my husband to be up waiting on me. She knows you were busy taking care of the kids and were tired. All she had to do was to crawl in the bed with you and cuddle instead of being upset you didn't wait up for her. Comment number 4. Did you get changed, climb into bed, turn out the lights and go to sleep at 8 p.m. knowing she'd be arriving soon? In which case you probably could have waited up. Or did she get home and find that you had dozed off on the couch in front of the TV? In which case, why didn't she just wake you up so you could catch up and go to bed together? Story number 4. So my 31F best friend Riley, 31F, recently just got a part-time job after several years of staying home with her daughter Ella, 6F. She and her husband Joe, 34M, haven't been able to get the childcare situation totally sorted out and needed a babysitter last Saturday, so I agreed to watch Ella for the day while Riley was at work. I've been sort of the cool aunt ever since Ella was born. I typically will bring small gifts or activities whenever I know that I will be seeing her, which isn't all that often. Ella is a smart and engaged kid and I like to give her things that will interest her and keep her occupied. One important piece of information here is that I'm a very crafty person. I have a small online store and also work with local businesses for selling and distributing small batches of my product, hand-painted wooden figurines. I thought it might be fun to introduce Ella into my hobby business, so I ended up bringing 10 unpainted figurines to choose from, a few tubes of acrylic paint, and some paint brushes. We immediately got to work and Ella was so into it. She had an absolute blast painting her turtle figurine. But when it came time for me to leave, I started packing up all of my supplies and Ella became visibly upset. Riley insisted that I leave the supplies behind so that Ella could keep and play with them. I disagreed, and basically said that I have no obligation to give away any of my belongings. I personally feel like I was more than generous by babysitting Ella on my day off. I do have a regular 9-to-5 job as well, and providing a fun activity for her. Riley pointed out that I have a pretty large stock of items at home, which is true, but still, letting Ella keep the supplies and figurines would have been a loss in profit for my business. Ella cried when I didn't let her keep any of the stuff, and Riley argued that I should have never brought toys over if I wasn't willing to let Ella keep them. Now Riley hasn't been responding to any of my messages or calls, and I can only assume she's still angry over this whole thing. I thought I was doing something nice by babysitting and providing a fun activity. AITA for not letting Ella keep my crafting supplies? Edit, just clarifying that I did let Ella keep the one completed turtle figurine that she painted herself. Everything else I took back home with me. Comment number 1. NTA. Does Riley start dismantling the swings when she leaves the playground? Edit, thanks for the votes, replies and awards. I'm telling everyone that this was the comment that broke Reddit yesterday. Comment number 2. Riley argued that I should have never brought toys over if I wasn't willing to let Ella keep them. That is a stupid thing to say. Every babysitting job I ever had, I brought an activity bag with fun stuff and crafts, and when they made crafts they kept them, but all the supplies and anything unused got packed back up and taken home at the end of the night. NTA and your friend is an off for thinking her child is entitled to keep the things you were considerate enough to bring and let her play with. That is not a good example for her daughter. Comment number 3. Solid NTA. Crafting supplies like paints and brushes are expensive, not to mention that everything you brought is used for your online business. Tell Riley where she can buy supplies for Ella, but I wouldn't have left any of those supplies behind, either. They're not toys. They're inventory for your business. Comment number 4. NTA. The kid is understandable in crying, that's just what 6-year-olds do. The mom is supposed to explain how we were lucky to use them and how wonderful it is. Not act like the 6-year-old.